Ooh, we live. Catch. It is Monday, and here I am with guest speaker CC Sip. Man, this is gonna be exciting. It's gonna be awesome. And as always, I want to remind you guys before we start, the man in the camera is beneficial. If you guys do need a cameraman, a producer, I'm telling you, this guy does everything, man. Double, triple, how many angles you need. Just make sure you come with a budget because at the end of the day, obviously everything has to make sense and it adds to the project. The more you invest in yourself, the better it is for what you're bringing out there, especially for content like this. But don't forget, this is Motivation Monday. Every single Monday, this is where we are to start the week right with the right guest. Today, I wanted to have it with my boy Sip right here, man, just because of his vibes and just the way he is very chill. First and foremost, man, just a small bow about you, man. Tell us a little bit about yourself, brother.
Man, I grew up in South Mississippi and joined the military after doing a little bit of schooling, stuff like that. I was in the Air Force for about 2.5 years, was medically discharged. And ever since I've been out, I've been living in Colorado and just working like some blue collar work and also cannabis for some time and still in the cannabis world. Been in the VR space for like 3 years, got on Horizon the day that the platform went public and been
Yeah,
making connections and hanging out since, dude.
yeah, for sure, man. You're always chill, dude. Have you always been like, I don't know, like I like your vibe, bro. It's always been really chill. I know that people are always like, it comes with the cannabis lifestyle, but you've always been pretty chill, pretty chill person.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel like I grew up being a super hyper kid,
Hmm.
hyperactive, always doing sports and activities and going crazy out in the woods and stuff like that. And you can't do that as an adult, at least on the day to day. You got to
Yeah,
commit to your grind and set goals and pursue relationships and all those things that come with advancing and leveling up in life and progressing through the life cycle and stuff. Um, yeah, man. So as I've gotten older, cannabis has definitely just kind of helped me sit in the back seat, but also have control of where I'm going and take things as they come instead of trying to be everywhere at once.
I like that, man. I like that because every single time I've been able to like sit down and hang out with you, it's always been a chill vibe, man. It's and I like that because you get different vibes from people. Some people are always business. Some people are always partying, and some people are always just motivation or always kind of chill or some it's whatever the vibes are. And sometimes you want to mix yourself with different type of people. So I do like the chill vibes that you bring and the stuff that you build too, man. Tell me a little bit about that, man. I know you said it's been 3 years. Was this the Quest 2 the first headset, or were you checking out VR before that?
Quest 2 was my first VR headset. I got it around Christmas and wanted to just get into like first person shooters and stuff. Like being an Air Force vet, I definitely thought
Yeah.
it'd be cool to like be inside of like Call of Duty or something like that. So got on and then was on Horizon, and I didn't know that it was like a social platform. I was just playing Action Island over and over
Oh yeah,
and
for sure.
kept meeting people in there, but didn't even know how to add them as a friend or where to see them or talk to them anywhere other than like in Action Island. And then made my way into Hardy World back in the day,
Yeah.
and then found out about the creation program and just went from there.
Yeah, and it's pretty crazy how life is, man. Because what's up, Tech? I remember, dude, people were coming by for like events and whatnot, and I remember one of the first things I saw you do was juggling. I remember it was like a big thing. And at first, I was like, man, he's just juggling this stuff. And everybody was just like, he's just juggling. And then you'd go try it and people are like, whoa, hold on, what the heck? And it has to have certain like weight and whatnot. And the way you did it for the events and whatnot, I thought it was pretty cool, man. What got you? Was it just picking it up or what got you into actually, you know, like, juggling, man? Because I remember in the beginning that was one of the biggest things you were known for.
Totally. Yeah. I was really just doing it out of boredom. There was like some featherweight items around like the beer pong tables because
Mhm.
I guess at the time people didn't script very heavily. So for beer pong there'd be the cups, and instead of a cup being removed, you'd lay this like circle on top of it that would cover the cup up, and they were just real featherweight physics on them. And you can really throw it and grab it when it's far away as long as you're reaching towards it and have that little white grab circle that you see when you're about to grab something on that item. You can grab it from probably 5, 6 feet away. So
Yeah.
it's more like a timing and rhythm thing. And it was always so fun to just like throw it really high up in the air and like watch it float down, even though I was in like even though we were doing like a van life situation or in like a
Yeah.
smaller apartment, stuff like that. It was always just so cool to feel like I was, throwing these things all over the place. And
Extending your space. Yeah, man.
yeah,
Definitely adding more to where you were.
but what's
Yeah.
funny is I didn't even juggle in real life. I could do it when we learned with like these like fabric cloths or whatever in elementary school, but I couldn't really juggle like tennis balls or anything like that much before until I like practiced in here and then was able to.
Yeah, look at that, man. And I'm sure that's one of the many skills that you kind of picked up in here, accidentally or even like purposely. There's so much stuff in here. Especially you saying that this was your first headset is kind of crazy because from there you definitely feel like you've learned a lot, right? As far as
Totally.
creating and doing the stuff in here. How do you feel about that, man?
Oh man, it's absolutely insane like what I've learned from this place. Like, in myself and others in business and, like staying motivated even though there's nothing directly coming from it now, or maybe
Yeah.
it's just like, committing to passions and stuff like that. Like this was definitely a space that I was able to just like work through some of those things where I normally don't stick at most hobbies for 3 years. I'll do it for a year and a half, 2 years, something like that, and on to the next, and just cycle through things until I feel I've got to a level of like mastery or,
Mm,
like satisfaction or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah, and this place has always been one to like present new challenges and, kind of force you to level up every now and then.
That's good stuff, man. You always got to get coal into that fire, man, to keep burning. And it has to be, new stuff that's and new challenges too. As much as we hate when challenges are put in front of us, I'm sure this place has, added bugs or added stuff that you've had to think around that have helped you, kind of be able to continue pushing what you've been pushing. But the cannabis thing, it's pretty big because a lot of people don't know that, it's hard to be able to express yourself not only in social media, but the fact that we can have right now AI art that says cannabis on it, I think is pretty cool. What overall, man, like what got you into the whole cannabis lifestyle, and what do you actually like about it, man?
So, I guess what got me into the lifestyle was um coming out of the military and just wanted to like slow things down, be able to stop and smell the roses instead of like, just being on alert or, just trying to like, be hyper aware of my surroundings and
Yeah,
situations or microaggressions and things like that. Yeah, it kind of dulls down those senses. And for me, that was like super attractive compared to alcohol, which is like super endorsed by the military,
yeah,
and all your peers and stuff like that. So I'm glad that I was able to like keep myself away from that, especially outside of the military. It's made it where it's been easier and safer to cope with things. Like whenever I was like kind of adjusting back to what it looked like, on a day
yeah.
to day of like a regular job, regular people, kind of out and about wherever, no checkpoints or check ins or nothing like that. Um, yeah, man. So, between that and the creativity, the pain relief, I have Crohn's disease, so it really helps with a lot of like autoimmune,
Yeah.
kind of like intestinal pain, stuff like that. And I skate and get injured and stuff. So like really everything that comes with it, man. It's a healer. It's a tool for like motivation, creativity, all that
No,
stuff,
definitely.
man. Yeah,
Definitely, man. And it fits everything, every bill that you need, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like it helps you out personally in everything that you see from it. It's big, hopefully that it gets a little bit more freedom here in the United States, and we get to see a little bit more people, especially veterans. I mean, anybody who needs it, but especially veterans, because you did point out, alcohol is a big thing that they push, and I agree with that. Alcohol is a big thing that they push, and I feel like they also make it hard for people to find alternate medicines to be able to help themselves out or find a normal way of living without having to figure out, how to motivate themselves and how to get back into society. So it's good to see that. Do you see tech playing any big role within cannabis?
Man, I mean, I think that at least as far as like our area, um, doing like radiation on cannabis products that failed for microbials or
Mm,
whatever, that's one that's like super cool to me. It's like $500,000 for a small radiation machine, but you charge somebody $25 a pound and run hundreds of pounds a day through that thing, cleaning up people's products for them that just failed at whatever specs. Those products can be remediated. I think that that's like one way that like just tech as a whole, not necessarily like our social platform techs.
mm.
um, but I do
It's
think that having that understanding, connection, and seeing how things play out in other areas, um, through social medias and stuff, could be positive expression towards the movement for sure.
No, I know, and I know that you've had a couple of builds in here that have been that kind of expression in there that have, showed the vibes in there. The plants are growing. It's educational. It also shows people kind of, it destigmatizes it a little bit, because it does get a bad look on it. So this is places that you can come in here and kind of talk about it and immerse yourself in that. Um, is that something that you necessarily thought about doing in the beginning, or is it something that you were like, man, I do love cannabis. I'm in here already. Let me start building these little spaces to kind of promote cannabis in here.
Yeah, I think initially it was more so just to like promote cannabis and like, my like direct involvement with like, my, kind of like
Yeah.
movements at the time, I would say.
Hmm.
Which was like super cool. I met some people that like their lifestyles really aligned with where I was at. So when my lady and I were on the road, I was able to, make those connections and follow through with some really cool stuff with those guys. And that was dope. All the way around, everybody was cool about it. But also, yeah, just a cool space for people to like come back and like, find the vibes that they're looking for if there's somebody like me that just wants to kick back with a couple people and no pressure to entertain or engage, but just enjoy yourself. Smoke, cough it up, whatever it may be. Let the weed be the icebreaker, whatever strain or product preference or whatever it may be. Let those things, those similarities you guys have, like open the doors for your communications.
Yeah, man, it's very welcoming, man. I feel like a lot of your spots are what is needed for a lot of these. Once again, the people who have a stigma against it, or people that just want to learn, you know what I mean, or necessarily come and have a space for them to hang out. I think it's pretty sweet that you've been kind of building spots like that and educating too in that aspect. Very quick, I just want to bring it back as you did talk about the microbe stuff. I think that's going to be something that not only AI is going to help big with it, but I've seen and I've been a part of like for example, like the Canaverse, right? The big thing about a lot of these products is that it's hard for people to make it legit, right? Or to show that it's a legit product. So sometimes you get the blame of products that are necessarily not legit, or you don't know, you can't necessarily trace it back, or they might be repackaged. Well, stuff like that, like the blockchain, or them maybe using AI to within the plans to be able to find these specs or these reasons why these things are failing tests and finding it quicker, kind of saving time, are things that I feel like that's the future of tech is definitely helping out with that. So and the fact that you're knowledgeable in that, even to say, to bring up that tech that is being used on those plants is pretty crazy. Is there any, like, I know insider wise, you can't say much, but I know that, being within that lifestyle, are you excited for when, let's say, the day that does become legal or recreational here in the United States, being able to be a little bit more open? Or do you feel like right now you're able to express yourself equally, virtually and physically as far as cannabis?
Hmm. Definitely look forward to the day of like nationwide legalization for sure. Um, you know, if that doesn't involve like interstate transportation and stuff like that, transport of items, then I think that kind of like keeps situations kind of similar where
Yeah.
they are for me, at least on like a state level. Um, but I definitely would love to see that. That way, those people that don't have access to it for price or legalities or jobs or stigmas or whatever can have access to those things and, join the community, join the movements, be a part of the education, maybe even be involved with growing their self on a small scale,
Yeah.
greenhouse or something like what I have, just a few plants that you can really be hands on with and learn the process. But to also hint on your point about tech, I do feel that I, with the right help, could create an AI bot that could essentially do my job, wholesale
Yeah.
brokering, that would take our inventories and, cross communicate that with our suppliers and our distributors and whatever it may be, and just and respond from that. Take the input, file orders, and send everything to everybody. And I mentioned it to the owner of my company. Those guys can't do it, but I can, and I,
Mm.
can hustle in my right direction with those guys for a few years. Really, develop a system that works and either sell it to them or have my own. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, man, super exciting stuff within tech.
That's good stuff, man. Automation right there, man.
Totally.
CC SIP automation right there, man. You'd
Right.
be able to set that up. That's awesome, dude.
Trying to get like
That's
you,
good
brother.
stuff. No, that's good stuff, man, because it's always, every single, once again, man, every single person can look at something and have a different solution or perspective for it, or not even, not, look at a different part of it, So it's crazy, once again, man, that you looked at that within your biz or within the company you work with and being able to say, hey, this is something that I might be able to solve a problem. And you can have, your goals set out, which I'm sure you do. You have your goals set up to be able to hit those goals and get that done. And it's going to help the industry as a whole, and the more people that see that and maybe follow suit or maybe better whatever process you have, it betters you and everybody else.
Totally.
So that's definitely a great, man, that you're looking at stuff like that. There's many that it's hard to get a loan, for this type of business. So it's good to be able to automate it for, for other stuff that are very related to it. You know what I mean? For maybe like tomato industries or things like that that are very tomato really related to that industry. And then once it becomes legal, or once it's accepted, or once the company decides to, being able to bring it in and implement
Mm.
it. So that's good
Yeah,
stuff, dude.
that'd be a great model to build it off of. Just like a small, like veggie or microgreen system or something like
Yeah.
that for sure. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So you got it right there, man. That's a great idea. That's a great idea from, man. That's good stuff that you brought that up. So besides the cannabis, man, what other hobbies you got? I know you snowboard, definitely skate. I feel like you're very outsidey, man. What's your hobbies?
Yeah, I'm a gardener, an outdoorsman, so I hunt, fish, build little bushcraft shelters, start a fire, all that good stuff. Love to shoot guns. I hunt squirrels in my backyard and skin them up and all that good stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, man, I'm really with all that good
Outdoors,
Mississippi
yeah.
boy stuff. Yeah, man.
Heck
Like
yeah, man.
I like going on long drives or getting out on the lake and fishing or water sports. Really anything that's a good time that's might get me close to killed but not killed. I'm
Yeah, I
cool
get
with it,
you.
man. I'm on board. Yeah, dude.
Enough adrenaline. That's
Totally.
what-
Totally.
How does it balance, man, with the VR? I know that sometimes people are like, well, I'm trying to be in the physical or I'm trying to be in the VR. How do you feel like that balances it since you are such an outdoorsy person? How does this kind of recharge you in that aspect?
Yeah, man. I after being here for so long, I have a lot of people that I like miss their connection. I miss seeing my homie and sparking up and catching up and, seeing how your life is and where you're going. I've just got all these like involved relationships that I'm like, at this point just committed to with my friends, that I have to include this in part of my balance for sure, even when I'm not super focused on creating or trying to make money or whatever it may be in this space that it has been in other points and times.
Mm,
Um, yeah, this definitely recharges me in a way when I can come in here and do a couple first person shooters or hop in a racing simulator or just hang out with a couple buddies and just mess around and goof off or whatever it may be. Um, yeah, it's super important, but uh, yeah, I'll take a few hours and stuff. I feel like my time gets away from me so much faster in here than it does in the
yeah.
physical.
Ain't
And
that crazy?
man, it's so crazy. Like the relativity of time
Yeah.
within different spaces is it's insane. And I get that, we're in vibrant spaces and we've got sparkles in front of us
Yeah.
and all that good stuff, but yeah, it still blows my mind. So I try to take things slow and spend time with my lady and the family, and she's always cooking up good food, so I want to be in the kitchen hanging out with her, and it's kind of hard to be in there when she's got the blender going and the mixer and all that stuff. But I want to be present here and there.
Yeah, I feel that.
Totally. So yeah, sometimes you just gotta turn it off and if the situation's right with your family or whatever it may be, whoever you live with, they'll
Mm.
understand that you have friends to go see and they might be a part of it or might not be. But there's always that balance once you have been in the space long enough. The balance finds a way to either, make itself or you have to find it.
No, for sure. Yeah, like you said, it just like anything else, it's gonna find a way to make itself, or you're not gonna enjoy being in here as you used to.
Totally.
Um, and the balance is good, man. Hopefully, I'm sure you're excited about extended reality, or as the form factor of these get smaller and smaller, being able to do the stuff that you want to do, and kind of add maybe some of this into it, a little bit more and more and more, because it is cool, man. And sometimes, like right now it's cool to see all the stuff we can build in here, but being able to bring more and more, you show me where you're from, and I'll be able to show you where I'm from, and invite you over, your holographic person over, or your overlay over. And I think that thing is cool, and it definitely
Totally.
connects us in ways that people, I think, didn't expect it would. A lot of people believe that it's kind of like making people not want to meet up, or making people not want to do physical stuff. But I feel like it definitely. I mean, shoot, I wouldn't know anybody in here hadn't it been for this, man, and being able to connect with so many countries and people, and dropping the dime. So
Totally.
it is pretty crazy, man.
Yeah, it's crazy how, like, if you were to make a road trip and stop at all 50 states, like
Mm,
there's not many places that you would go that you wouldn't have somebody through this space or
yeah.
an extension of this space that you could connect with, grab a meal with, or maybe in some cases have their house opened up to you to,
Yeah.
to be welcomed in for dinner or as a guest in a guest room or something like that, depending on the level of connection with those people. And that's so fucking cool, right?
Yeah, that's actually that is really cool, man. It's like and not only that, but like exchanging of culture, man. It's so cool. It's crazy. It's quick. Well, that's us. Your little grow room, for example. Once again, it's like it's a small space, but you go in there, and it's a place that you can exchange lifestyle. There might be people that once again don't care for the cannabis aspect of it, but they grow maybe tomatoes, or they grow, or they do meat, or they do whatever their stuff is. It's something you can kind of relate with, and kind of
Totally.
I guess experience without having to worry about being, going anywhere special, or doing anything special in that aspect. So
Right from the comfort of your home without having to spend a ton of money or
yeah.
gas or go out into the crazy world or wherever you live at. It's yeah, man, it's super great.
And now with I know you're excited, man. Dale's spots, the things that they brought out. All your friends all around you that are bringing these outdoorsy spots that are cool to play, and being able to experience all this stuff. How do you like that, man? What's the spots that you've been hitting as far as outdoor, man? And you're saying you enjoy the outdoors and the physical.
Yeah. I really like Dale's spot, the Dale Farms.
Yeah.
Trail riders for
Oh
sure.
yeah, trail riders is fun, especially
And
with the
then
city. Hell yeah.
totally. And then I recently dropped two spots that I've been kind of enjoying here and there. I got a Halloween Spooky Halloween Shack is the name of
Mhm.
the world, and it's kind of like a we've been hanging out there this month doing the smoke sessions and bringing friends out in the bot stuff like that. Nothing too spooky, just a chill little walk through up to a cabin treehouse that
Mhm.
you hang out in. Lots of good chairs and cozy little spots to hang out in with your friends. And then there's a magical Trimesh walkabout or something like that, give or take on the name. And it's just a magical mushroom forest walkthrough that leads to a small mushroom village that's all swampy and magical. And the other side has the cabin from the spooky Halloween shack, just
Nice.
sitting on a nice little Halloween themed block.
That's good stuff, man. How you been liking building in here, man? I know that I mean, you try to keep it as you jump in there and build, and as it keeps you creative and motivated, and then you take your breaks and what you need to do. How you been liking the building?
And I think that the higher definition models are super exciting.
Mhm.
Um, they have been for a while. I really enjoy using AI on mine. I use Meshy.ai,
Nice.
free sauce for anyone and
Yeah.
everyone.
There you go.
Meshy.ai. I pay $20 a month for the like one of the point systems. They give you a certain amount of credits a month to generate models from either image reference or text reference. And it's super sweet, man. It saves me a ton of time. I don't have to learn any sophisticated tools or anything like that. So I'm just able to import some decent quality models and kind of get together scenes and stuff without having to have a ton of time or skill invested in it.
Yeah.
So I've really enjoyed that process for sure.
Yeah, man. Dang. I gotta see more, sit down with more with you, man. Not saying that I didn't know you knew, like, you were so into the tech aspect of everything, man, but I like that you implemented a lot of this stuff into your process. You know what I mean? That's something that adds a little bit to it, being able to look at something and saying, okay, well, I need to get this done, and I want to get it done this time, but also keep this type of quality. Because I'm that's like, I like that as well, right? There's always, I feel like, yes, can I always do better in some aspects? Of course, but it's like, how much time and how much am I putting into this has effect to the whole project. And I
Right.
and I like that you, there's a lot of stuff that you sit there and you're like, okay, this is the stuff I focus on, and then this is the stuff that I use my tools to kind of optimize my process. So
Absolutely.
that's good stuff, man.
Yeah,
When you
hey,
sit there
man,
and kind of
it's all
creative.
about working smarter, not harder.
Yeah,
That's
that's the
our
military right there.
hey, and we're just as hustlers. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the only way you're gonna get ahead is if you can't carry every brick. Brick by brick. You need to figure out how to build a wagon and load it up, and like there's just things you got to figure out how to do to make things work right.
Yeah, man. You have to find a way. Always find a way, and that's what keeps it going. Which leads us to the motivation part about it, man. Um, what keeps you motivated in it? I know you probably, especially in here in life, anywhere, man. I know you've hit a wall, you've hit a spot where you're like, dang, what do I do now, or is this even worth it? What do you use to be able to motivate you, man?
Totally. Right now, I think it's just like maintaining the comfort that I have, the lifestyle that we live, being able to travel and go to events and do things and, purchase higher end cannabis, at our leisure and go to events and things like that, without having to worry about cost of things.
Yeah,
um, for me, that's just so important that like safety and comfort around, like if something goes wrong, like we can figure it out, it's not that big of a deal. um, I think that that's like the biggest thing because uh, I didn't really like grow up with that feeling,
yeah.
and it caused a lot of anxiety and like insecurities and stuff like that. So like you just gotta like hustle to keep that stuff afloat and keep that level of comfort for me.
And I feel that, man. I definitely feel that, man. It does feel good, having your um living within your means, but having that taste for the things that you do want to have luxury wise, right?
Totally.
um some people necessarily don't care to have maybe the nicer car, but they do care about having the nicer tub to shower in, or to bathe in, whatever it is.
Exactly.
So it just having that option is something that's it's very great. You know, obviously, I'm sure you're grateful for, but it's also something that relieves a lot of stress. That necessarily life is already stressful, so why add anymore? So congratulations on that, man, and I
Totally,
hope I know you're gonna keep grinding and keep doing your stuff to keep that pushing on. What do you got going on in the next 6 months, man? What can we
man.
see?
Selling a ton.
Yeah,
And moved $80,000 worth of weed in 3 weeks, dude.
that's what I'm
You know,
talking about.
like, come on now.
All
Uh,
legal. Just want to put
yeah,
that out. He works
all
at a
legal.
legal spot, state, and
Corporate.
everything. So,
I'm in an
yeah,
office every day,
yeah,
typing and coordinating emails and phone calls and Google Meets. Everything is very official.
yeah.
All licensed BIPs and suppliers, just for full disclaimers. And none of my products are for sale to
Mhm.
anybody without a Colorado licensed facility.
Yes, sir.
There
So
we
that's
are. Yeah,
just
just a
putting that
little
out there. I don't want you,
right.
but hey, man, it's corporate. It's moving up. It's big. It's once again once it moves to more states and keeps growing. Florida is voting for it. This November to be able to see if we have medical, but the fact that you've been able to move up, and you've been excited, man. I know you've talked about the job. You told me, when you got it and whatnot, and it's crazy to see how excited, and that's I think what keeps people pushing within companies. I know you're excited to keep seeing what you can achieve in there.
Oh yeah, man. There's no limits with these guys, so it kind of is what you put into it, you'll get
Mm-hmm.
out of it. Once like in here, you build your relationships, and that opens doors for you. So in the same regard, like, I've just been picking up with these clients that were taken care of by the previous guy,
Yeah.
and just giving them, my southern hospitality, but with cannabis expertise and, like honest guidance on product choice and stuff like that, just to
Yeah.
keep, business clean and keep people, happy with what they're doing and buying. And it's paid out for me so far. I'm just excited to like continue it and build on it and be able to handle more and make more and all that good stuff.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Are you thinking about any of like social media wise? Are you thinking about doing any content creating on that as they allow more, cannabis related content?
Yeah, so at least with the company account, it's I think it's Cody J underscore source Colorado, something like
Nice.
that. But if you type in Cody J source, you'll definitely find it. Every Thursday when we go out and visit all of our on sites that are within our whatever range we go into, I go to about 25 to 35 stores every Thursday,
Mm-hmm.
and just check in with them, say what's up. And there, I take a photo, a really nice photo outside of the front of their store with all their signs and stuff like that, and post it up, tag the company, tag our company, and then our company repost it.
Nice.
So in a way, I'm there, and I do take some photos at working events that I go to, like especially with these crazy Halloween parties and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The boss wants me to keep it business related on that. But personally, yeah, I did just post a little bit of my greenhouse grow. I think that, in a way, is like my first steps towards doing a little bit of content of cannabis online. I just kind of wanted to see how many people would like it or what the response to like putting a few of my home plants, my legal home plants, not for sale, online.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there was a good response of people, throwing heart eyes and hearts and stuff like that. Not that I'm in it for the likes or anything like that, because it is all about the movement and the education. But also, I don't want to just be, talking into nowhere with no audience or no one
Nah, for sure.
care. Yeah. So yeah, I think like at the least I'll follow up with like some harvesting and cure and
Nice.
maybe even just like my baseline nutrient systems that I run,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like the temperature range, like, kind of like a beginner guide if somebody ever wanted to grow, they could see this video on my profile or something like that.
Oh, that's definitely that's hard, man. One of the biggest things that here in Florida, everybody's upset because they're not allowing the growing right now since we're a single, it's a single amendment state or topic state, so it has to only have one topic on there. But either way, Everybody's mad about not being able to grow it, but the only thing that also sucks is that when you actually get down to actually growing, it's not as easy as you think. Like, yes, it's easy to grow the actual stuff, but for the way that you want to consume it and what you want it to do for you, and the percentages and keeping it, how you needed to keep it, it's a lot different. It's just like anything else. Like, anybody can grow potatoes, but there's special people that are there to grow special potatoes that are used for certain use, or are made for a certain quality, luxury, whatever it is,
Yeah,
So it's one of those things that definitely have somebody educate, and that's one of the things that I like about here, and I hope that especially Horizon and a lot of these platforms that you're a part of, they kind of see that you're educating people, and you're educating people in a good way about it, and you're also kind of somebody that's approachable about this. You know what I mean? You're
totally,
not misinforming. You're not, yeah, necessarily. I don't feel like you push like, okay, this is like the best of everything. You kind of let people know, okay, this is what I use it for, with the benefit of it, and then what I'm doing with it as far as growing the soil I'm using and stuff like that. So
totally.
that's actually pretty cool, man.
Yeah, actually, there's somebody that I've met up with here, and that I met in Horizon. We met in real life, smoked up really big, got to enjoy each other's company, and I left him with some product. I think he might have even,
Nice.
bought some from me or something like that at the time. And yeah, he now grows at his house, and anytime he has any questions, like, he wanted to do a clone, and he did a harvest, and then he had some plants that were right before harvest, and the cold front came through, and they turned real
Wow.
purple. He's like, "Why do my plants look all purple like this? This is
Mm.
crazy." Yeah, so even just like people reach out to me through Instagram, they ask me like, "How do you do this?" or "What do you use for this?" And super easy, man. Like, and if you know this person, then they post stuff on their story of
Yeah,
their
yeah,
plants, and they're
yeah.
huge, dude. Like some beautiful outdoor back porch plants.
Oh, for sure,
Um,
man. For sure.
yeah,
For
it's super
sure.
cool, and it's awesome
Educating,
to
bro.
have that little community. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, dude, it's so cool.
No, definitely, man, and educating, like you said, the community, the Wednesdays, being able to come through, hang out, it's always a fun time too. And then you meeting people within this lifestyle, and here it's a little easier. I feel not just because not that we have to be hidden or anything, but having the headset on kind of makes you feel a little bit better, even if it is something legal. In most states, sometimes necessarily some people don't want their worker to know, or their parents to know, or whatever it is. Anybody to know from their family, they don't want it. And here they can come in here and kind of talk about it. You have somebody who's knowledgeable that they can reach to and learn a little bit more about it, and kind of learn of what the uses are. Maybe it's something that they think of using, and they meet you and you're like, hey, this is what I use it for, this da 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 da. And maybe it's something they're like, you know what, this is good information for somebody in my family. Maybe I'm not going to use it, but somebody in my
Right?
family
Yeah,
would.
man.
And I don't know if you remember, early on we used to do actually the events at dang it, what was his name? I can't believe I forgot my
Ohio
boy's
Chronic.
name. Yeah, there you go, How Chronic spot, man. We used to do events over there as well, and come through and have people come through. And I'm pretty sure you were there that day. There was a couple people that came through that were older crowd. And one lady, for example, had said that her husband had a lot of body aches and body pains, that she was thinking about talking to somebody about CBD. And she came in and sat down and heard that day's speaker, and she was really happy about it. So that's good, bro. Keep spreading
Yeah,
that, man.
yeah, it's super awesome. I mean, obviously, everybody's going to have a different relationship and reaction to cannabis.
Of course, yeah.
But you can sorry,
No, you're good,
and
man.
you can find. I think there might be someone at my door. Give me 1 second.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, no
sorry.
problem, bro. Gotcha. I'm going to take this time to remind y'all, man, this is Motivation Monday. Every single Monday, this is what we do. We come through, we have different speakers. We also have networking Mondays. Those are the Mondays in between. So bi weekly, I bring different people, come through, man, just meet up, and we basically talk. If you want to get in front of the camera, Ben's the one that brings the camera through, man. Learn a little bit about him, and also check his spots out while you're there as well. I think this week, or sorry, next week, Monday, I believe we should be meeting up at Ben's spot, so you guys can come check out all the stuff that he has. He has the cameras, so your guys are not standing there. You don't have the cameraman just standing there looking like just like he's at attention. You can have the cameras there too for you guys that are doing weddings or events like that need that professionalism. Make sure you get up with him. once again, don't forget, man, there is a budget for this, man. My boy has pointed that out and brought this out because at the end of the day, it is great to do this stuff, but you got to have a way, to keep you doing it, especially if it's something that he does that is a professional job for him. So make sure y'all check that out. If you're doing events, this is definitely something you should invest in, right? The quality of this, it's not just him recording. This is something that he uses this media, breaks it down, puts it on Instagram. You can also use it and use it however you want to do it and be able to refer people back to this. So y'all check it out. But once again, this is Motivation Monday. We're here with my boy CC Sip, man. As you guys seen, man, there's so much stuff that he is a part of as far as like what he does in real life, what he does in here, and what he's bringing from the both worlds. We spoke about cannabis. We spoke about tech. Spoke more about cannabis and how tech works together. What motivates them. And I forgot to ask you, man. This is something important. I love this. You got to give me a quote, bro. What's a quote that you live by?
Man, uh, let's see. I can't remember the exact quote because I've been smoking. It's been a long day. Got a lot of moving parts, but it's something in regards to the point of I didn't mess up 1,000 times. I found 1,000 ways that
Okay.
didn't work. Like that kind of sentiment that even if you mess something up, you just found out a way that didn't work. So don't do that one again. Try
Hmm.
again. And as long as you just keep trying and shooting, eventually you're going to dial it in. If you mess up everything all the times and do it every wrong way you can, there's one right way, and eventually you'll find it for sure.
That's a great quote, man. That's a great quote because I feel like a lot of times that's where a lot of people get stuck at. You fail one time, two times, or even you get a row of failures and you're like, dude, what the hell am I doing? Is this even worth, for me? And that's a great quote to have to kind of remind yourself that these are ways that you're learning. It's up to you, basically.
Yeah,
It's up to
you
you
got to
what
work
you're going to
on
take out of it.
it's a skill to learn how to recover from failure for sure. How to like accept failure or move past failure, stuff like that. Yeah, I think that it's definitely a skill in itself rather than being shut down and stopped by it. Sometimes you just got to find a way to push through, find whatever motivates you and hold on to it.
Yeah, man. It's a great skill to have, definitely, man. Do you feel like the military at it helped you out with that, or is it something that you feel like you just grew over time?
I think I think in a sense for sure. I think
Mhm.
the time management, the dedication to
Yeah.
team and solving whatever problems and working together in that regard for sure, because it definitely translates to how you run your family and um, structure your lifestyle with the people around you that matter, your team or your squadron, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
um, yeah, totally.
Oh man, it definitely does. It's a great quote, man. Thousand ways. Yeah, you feel, you learn a lot more from with the L's you take. I mean, it's great to always win, but at the end of the day, you don't learn as much, unfortunately. It's just beneficial for yourself to know that you are doing something that's going the right way, and it shows you that what you've been doing is working to, getting that goal or getting that stuff that you're working towards. So, that's a great quote, man. I like that one.
Yeah,
I'm definitely gonna clip that one, man, because I like that quote.
hell yeah.
I'm pretty sure you said exactly how it's supposed to be said. So you're good on that, man. I'm pretty sure that's about exactly how it's said. If not, maybe a couple words here and there
Right.
mixed around, but you got the gist of it, man. Where can we find you, bro? Where can we stay up with you? I know you gave us the business page, but where can we stay up with you as far as what you got going on in the metaverse, and maybe a little bit of what you got going on in BTS? Right there. Okay. Okay. Y'all
That's
see it,
my
man.
personal Instagram, ccc_sip. That's my personal Instagram. My VR Instagram is the same, just .vr at the end. And then from there, I'm sure you'll find my work email or my work Instagram as well. So super easy to find me. I'm out there. Reach out to me. Yeah,
Hey, there you go, man. You guys know where to find my boy. You guys know what motivates him, what he likes, his hobbies, and how he stays up in these places, man. There's a lot of stuff going on. Make sure you guys tap in with him in anything. As you guys saw, man, there's questions and stuff that you can definitely ask him. If you're into growing, into snowboarding, there's so many other things, hobbies that he's a part of that if you're interested in, definitely check it out, man. He's a forward thinker, as you guys can see. Anybody that can go into any situation and think, okay, well, what can I bring out of this, or how can I get something out of this? Is somebody who's a forward thinker. So definitely somebody you want to keep in your network and somebody you want to keep in contact with. So, CC, man, thank you so much, bro, for taking the time for coming through. I know that we usually sit down and always hang out either way on Wednesdays, bro. I always look forward to that because it's hard to find a group of people who like that aspect of that lifestyle, or, and being
Totally.
able to meet up in the ways that we do. So that's awesome. Um,
Yes,
but thank
sir.
you, man. Thank you for real, bro, for
Yeah, thanks
motivating
for
us.
having me, bro. I'm glad that I can make it. I know we were shooting for it at another time, and things are just chaotic, but I'm glad that I was able to make it work today. And I always look forward to those Wednesdays as well. It's such a good time kicking back and also getting your end of education as well. Because we have similar backgrounds with cannabis, but
Mm,
also we've had unique experiences on our own end.
for sure.
Yeah, dude.
For sure, man, for sure, and that's something I really do like, man. There's stuff that I'll sit down and I know that it's awesome to sit down and like talk and feel great about getting tips and try these tips and look. And I know you feel great when you have a product, anything, any type of product, man. It doesn't have to be just growing, but when you make a product and you're like, man, this is something, and you test the product out, you try it out, and it's something that you like, and you're like, damn, I'm amazed I created this. So
Totally.
that's great stuff, bro. But hey, man, thank you so much for coming through. This is Motivation Monday. We are here, man. If you got anything else you want to let us out with, or if you want to let the crowd out with, man, go ahead and say anything you want to let us out with, brother.
Man, love the people around you.
There you
Love
go.
everybody. Yeah.
There you go, man. You heard my boy. Once again, this is Motivation Monday. I'm here with CCC Sip. The man behind the camera is beneficial. I know I've been plugging him in, bro, but you guys don't understand. This is clutch right here, man. Don't sleep on him. The prices are always going up. I'm telling you, the prices are going up. He's going to tell you the price is going to go up too. Just make sure you guys tap in with my boy, man. Get him in these events. Get him while he's good right here, man, and accessible. Because once he keeps getting busy, I'm telling you, everywhere I go, I either speak about him or I hear people talking about him when they need an event. When you need a cameraman, Beneficial is the man to check it out. And it's not just in the virtual world. Yo, check out his personal page. He put up his prices up there. If you have weddings, if you have any events that are live, check it out. Check it out. What he gives you guys in those packages and reach out to him, man. You never know. You might have your cameraman right there in front of you. Once again, Motivation App Monday, and we out.
Ew.
Good, man.
Nice.
Let me stop this right here.